terrifying archaeological discoveries in China that shook world history. Enigmatic Echoes welcomes you. Dear friends, since ancient times, Chinese emperors of various dynasties believed that tombs were what would grant them a better life in the afterlife. Thus, they employed all sorts of tricks, from traps to poisons, to protect their tombs. Not only that, during the golden dynasties, they also left behind countless mysteries, such as enormous treasures, mysterious sacrificial animals for unclear reasons, or bizarre sacrificial objects that many archaeologists and scientists have discovered to this day. Today, join Enigmatic Echoes as we travel back in time to explore archaeological discoveries in China that once shook history, right in today's video. The 330 billion Dong treasure. In 1990, while plowing the land of Harvard and Enshidong County, Chengde City, Hunan Province, China, discovered a strange sinkhole. Suspecting it might contain cultural relics, he immediately reported it to local authorities. After experts arrived and conducted an appraisal, they found this strange pit was actually the top of an ancient tomb. Experts also discovered that the scale of this tomb was not small at all. However, it wasn't until 1991 that archaeologists officially conducted a large-scale excavation of this tomb. Thanks to the thorough preparation by experts, the excavation of this ancient tomb seemed to proceed very smoothly. Many precious cultural relics were unearthed, including 78 items made of gold, silver, and jade. Normally, this archaeological excavation would be considered very successful, as archaeologists not only discovered the tomb's owner was Lu Heng, a famous general from the late Western Jin dynasty, but also recovered a large number of precious cultural relics like a golden crocodile, many bronze items, and lacquer. However, among the many cultural relics found in this roughly 1,700-year-old tomb, archaeologists were most interested in a special set of items, specifically a cylindrical object made of silver and jade. The reason for the attraction is simple. Experts still haven't been able to determine the function of this object. According to archaeologists, the item looks like a jade jar, about 10.5 centimeters in height and 10.5 centimeters in diameter, crafted skillfully and exquisitely. Typically, most unearthed jade cultural relics are flawless and translucent, considered the highest grade of jade. However, this jade jar is the opposite. Its material is made from a high-quality piece of jadeite but is not crafted to be translucent. Nevertheless, according to expert evaluation, this jar is still a rare artistic masterpiece in the world. Its most attractive feature is its extremely unique decorative patterns and motifs. Especially, the upper part of the jade jar is exquisitely carved with intricate yet clear lines, including cloud patterns, dragons, and qilin. The lower part is decorated and divided into three groups with themes of battles between immortals and dragons, tigers and dragons, and dragons. The jar has three bear-shaped feet. These patterns reflect people's desires at that time for immortality, longevity, and wealth. Finding ancient jade artifacts is not rare in today's archaeological discoveries. But experts believe, judging from the carving skills on this jade jar, it seems to have been made by the hands of master craftsmen from thousands of years ago. Its carving technique even far surpasses that of the Jin dynasty period, leading experts to speculate this jade jar might have been a favorite item of Lu Heng during his lifetime. This has also sparked a debate among experts about the true purpose of this 1,700-year-old jade jar. In fact, in terms of shape, this jar is quite similar to two wine-warming jars from the Han Dynasty unearthed in Shaanxi Province, China, in 1962. The purpose of those two jars was to hold and warm wine. It is known that jade objects like this jar with mythical beast patterns only appeared during the Han Dynasty. Later, during the Three Kingdoms period and beyond, porcelain jars gradually replaced bronze. However, jars from this period were mainly used as drinking vessels for wine. This is the point of controversy because ancient people usually poured wine into a specific vessel like a cup or bowl before drinking. Meanwhile, the overall height of this jar is 10.5 centimeters, too small to be a wine storage jar but also too large to be a cup for drinking wine. Nevertheless, experts do not agree with the view that this artifact is a wine storage jar. And to this day, they still cannot explain the true function of this jar, even though it is determined to be of immense value. Ancient stone wall paintings. At the Zhoushan Historical Site in Kaifeng City, Henan Province in central China, archaeologists discovered two stone wall paintings dating from the Northern Song Dynasty period, 960 to 1127 AD. These are considered the largest such paintings ever found in China to date. The paintings are carved with patterns carrying auspicious meanings in traditional Chinese culture. Like beads and cloud-like formations arranged symmetrically along the north and south banks east of Zhoushan Bridge, all with a height of 3.3 meters. The length of the wall excavated on the south bank is 23.2 meters, while the length on the north bank is 21.2 meters. The total length of these two murals could reach 100 meters, with a total carved area of about 400 square meters. Archaeologists assess that the scale, theme, and style of these stone wall murals represent works of art that meet the highest standards in stone carving art and reflect the most exquisite carving level of the Northern Song Dynasty. It is known that Zhoushan Bridge was built from 780 to 783 during the Tang Dynasty, 618 to 907. North of the Grand Canal, the vast waterway connecting northern and southern regions of China. This bridge was an important structure in the center of Kaifeng City and was buried under silt in 1642 due to a devastating flood on the Yellow River. Here, archaeologists have so far found 117 stone inscriptions and ruins, indicating that China's history still holds many mysteries, especially during the Northern Song period. The mystery inside China's unique underwater tomb. In February 1978, on a small hill in the outskirts of Sui County, now Suizhou City, Hubei Province, China, the Wuhan Air Force was using explosives to blast a mountain to expand a radar repair factory. When the rocks on the hill exploded, an unusually colored patch of earth was exposed. This soil had different color and properties from the surrounding ground, showing signs of human excavation. Based on calculations of the entire area, it was highly likely the burial site of a very large ancient tomb. The tomb has a total area of 220 square meters and is 13 meters deep, with the coffin chamber alone covering 190 square meters, 6 times larger than the coffin chamber of Lady Shen Zui in the famous Moanghui tomb. This tomb had no entrance, so the archaeological team had to use large cranes to move 47 giant stone slabs. Beneath the stone layer was a 250 centimeters thick soil layer, followed by a 10 to 30 centimeters layer of blue clay for water. At the bottom was a layer of charcoal that also served to waterproof and prevent moisture. The charcoal, when taken out and dry, weighed a total of 60 tons, protected and waterproofed so meticulously. But when it lifted the wooden cover, archaeologists were astonished to find the entire tomb submerged in water. It is known that this tomb unfortunately encountered an earthquake or flood in the past, causing the groundwater vein to burst. Artifacts below were deeply submerged in water and faced serious risk of destruction. Immediately, pumps were mobilized to work at full capacity to drain water and remove mud from the affected area. As the water level dropped, the full view of the tomb began to emerge. The tomb was divided into 4 rectangular chambers, with the main coffin placed in the eastern chamber. The coffin was inside a larger bronze outer coffin, measuring 3.2 meters long, 2.1 meters wide, 2.19 meters high, weighing 3.29 tons, with exquisitely carved raised pattern. Strangely, the bronze outer coffin even had doors added, leading some experts to speculate this was a special design allowing the deceased soul to move freely. After preliminary examination, the archaeological team confirmed the body inside the coffin was male, about 1.63 meters, combined with inscriptions carved on the coffin. Archaeologists could conclude this was the tomb of the Marquis of Zheng, a vassal state during the Warring States period. His real name was Ji Yi, known as Marquis Yi of Zheng, who lived from 475 BC to 433 BC. However, the Marquis of Zheng's coffin was not the only one found in this tomb. When the water almost completely receded, 23 other coffins began floating on the water surface. When opening the lids of these coffins, archaeologists saw an astonishing scene. Inside the 23 coffins were skeletons of young women, aged 13 to 25, who were musicians performing in the palace. After Marquis Yi of Zheng died, they were forced to be buried with him. This cruel custom was considered reasonable in the feudal system and wasn't abolished until the reign of Ming Emperor Yingzong from 1457 to 1464. Additionally, over 15,000 artifacts were found here, including musical instruments, lacquered wooden items, jade objects, weapons, chariots, and a total of 6,239 bronze items were also discovered. Most notable among them is the set of 65 bronze bells, the largest and most complete set of bells ever excavated in China. This bell set is astonishing not only in quantity but also in exquisite design and pure sound quality. Considered the pinnacle of bronze instruments from the Warring States period and designated as a national treasure. 600 war horses in a Chinese king's tomb. In 1964, archaeologists announced a shocking discovery in China. A tomb contained hundreds of neatly arranged war horse skeletons along with many precious artifacts. The tomb structure is complex, with a significant number of sacrificial animals, indicating this was the tomb of someone holding a high position in ancient Chinese society. And that person was Duke Jing of Qi, king of the state of Qi during the spring and autumn and warring states. Duke Jing of Qi ruled the state of Qi from 547 BC to 490 BC. All these war horses were live horses, sacrificed to serve Duke Jing of Qi in the afterlife according to ancient beliefs. Duke Jing of Qi's real name was Zhuzhen, the second son of Duke Ling of Qi, the 24th king of the state of Qi. His mother was a concubine of Duke Ling of Qi. When Duke Ling of Qi died in 554 BC, his eldest son Duke Zhuang of Qi Duke Zhuang of Qi ascended the throne but had an affair with the wife of Huizhu. In 548 BC, Huizhu killed Duke Zhuang of Qi at his private residence, then informed the ministers and placed Zhuzhu on the throne, who became known as Duke Jing of Qi. At that time, the power of the state of Qi was actually in the hands of Prime Minister Huizhu and the nobles. After the turmoil between Huizhu and Qingfeng, Duke Jing of Qi regained power, leading Qi into a period of peace and prosperity. At that time, Duke Jing of Qi married Princess Yanji of Yan, who bore him a crown prince. Duke Jing of Qi also had 5 other sons with his concubines, and he chose his youngest son, Zhang Tu, to succeed. Despite the advice of loyal ministers, the other 4 sons were exiled to Wangwu. Later, in 490 BC, Duke Jing of Qi fell ill and died, having ruled for 58 years. His death led to a bloody rebellion. Duke Jing of Qi was buried in Jiatu village, northeast of Linzi City in Shandong Province, China. North of the tomb village, archaeologists discovered the skeletons of 145 horses in a 215-meter-long burial. Years later, another 106 horse skeletons were discovered, bringing the total to 251. All these horses were aged between 5 and 7. By the time of the excavation in 2003, archaeologists had found over 600 horse skeletons buried in Duke Jing of Qi's tomb, along with 30 dogs, 2 pigs, and 6 other animals. Examining the horse skeletons carefully, experts believe these horses must have been extremely valuable during their lives. They were war horses with no signs of dying from disease before burial. These horses were killed and buried with their master's tomb, considered a horse sacrifice ritual. Sacrificial horses were often buried with a monarch of that era. Notably, after being killed, the horses were arranged in specific action poses, as if the horses were ready to charge into battle in the ancient tomb. Many skeletons were arranged lying in front of chariots, resembling horse-drawn chariots used in battles. It is known that during his life, Duke Jing of Qi was said to be very fond of horses, so after his death, ancient people buried such a large number of war horses with the Qi king, as a way to honor the deceased. The mysterious egg-laying cliff. Local people in Zhuzhou, Qianmen, Guizhou Province, southwestern China, were amazed to find smooth, round stone eggs protruding from a cliff face and later falling to the ground. Egg-laying cliff. Despite many hypotheses and scientific explanations, no one has provided the most accurate and convincing answer. This 2.4 meters high and 19 meters long cliff is like most others. But the strange thing is that protruding from the ordinary cliff face are smooth, round lumps of varying sizes. Over time, these stone eggs grow larger, gradually emerging, and when they can no longer cling to the cliff, they fall to make way for new eggs. According to nearby Kuru villagers, exactly every 30 years, Chandaraja lays many eggs. It is known that the rock at Chandaraja formed 500 million years ago during the Cambrian period. The Cambrian period over 500 million years ago was the Earth's largest biological explosion, turning the whole world into a planet of rich and bizarre creatures. Most of them have gone extinct but laid the foundation for later species. At that time, this area was an ocean. Abundant silicon dioxide particles adhered together, forming spheres in water before being compressed into metamorphic rock. Being in water itself also gave the silicon dioxide masses rounder and smoother. Over many geological eras, the ocean gradually turned into mountains, and these silicon dioxide metamorphic rocks were enveloped by limestone, which formed from compressed sediments like sand, soil, or less durable small rock fragments. The mysterious cliff in Guizhou, China, has been eroding for many years, but only the less durable limestone wears away, while the egg-shaped metamorphic rocks are so durable that they gradually emerge and fall from the cliff every few decades. Experts believe the egg-like round shape of the stones results from differences in erosion time for each rock type, but they still cannot explain how the stones were polished into such round shapes. Or why a geological area dating back 500 million years contains limestone components. Accordingly, many villagers take the eggs home because they believe they bring luck and blessings. In all 125 households in Kuru, there is at least one of these mysterious eggs kept at home as a lucky charm. In 1974, when the Beijing municipal government in China carried out a construction project in Fengtai district, construction workers noticed something unusual in the ground and unexpectedly discovered a huge wooden room deep underground. After excavation, archaeologists identified it as the burial chamber of Crown Prince Liu Jian from the Han Dynasty. The wooden room was extremely sturdy, measuring 15 meters long, 10 meters wide, 3 meters high, with an astonishing wall thickness of 1.8. This strange room was built entirely from solid cedar logs, stacked tightly, each log 90 centimeters long. According to preliminary calculations, over 15,000 logs were used here. Due to complex architecture and extremely exquisite craftsmanship, tombs of this style are the nightmare of tomb robbers, known as cedar tombs. A cedar tomb is simply understood as a chamber enclosing the coffin of a royal family member. The floor, walls, and ceiling were all made from solid cedar hardwood, stacked alternately and tightly. The cedar wood used is not ordinary wood. It is an extremely rare tree species in China. The wood is famously durable, capable of surviving millennia without any damage. Inside, cedar wood contains many oils, helping resist termites and thanks to its special fragrance, it retains its noble scent even after hundreds of. Cedar is revered as the wood of gods, giving it great spiritual value. Every detail in a tomb is exquisitely crafted, requiring high craftsmanship and being extremely costly. And that is also why, to this day, archaeologists have only found 10 cedar tombs across China. S structure, it. Because the extremely complex structure of this burial chamber would overwhelm tomb robbers as soon as they approach the first wall. Each wooden wall weighs about 300 kilograms, with logs stacked firmly on top of each other. After thousands of years of burial, the pressure from the logs and the tightly fitting mortise and tenon joints created extremely. Intruders would have to dismantle each wooden bar, which is clearly impossible. More unfortunate for tomb raiders is that many emperors carefully install up to 3 to 4 layers of yellow sandalwood. After getting past this wall, they face yet another wall. This shows it truly is a test of patience for tomb robbers. Recently, archaeologists discovered a jar of rice and intact eggs dating back 500 years in Sichuan province, China. The rice jar and eggs were found in a tomb from the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644, at Guangnan City Park. The eggs with intact shells were placed inside the rice jar. Scientists are still determining the exact number of eggs. Tang Zunmei, curator of Guangnan Museum, said the coffin was tightly sealed, designed to resist moisture and corrosion, with a 2 to 5 centimeters layer of lime inside. The rice jar and the eggs inside were protected by a lid. Historians are still debating the cultural significance of placing eggs in tombs. One hypothesis suggests it symbolizes the continuation of life through generations of descendants. Conversely, others suspect the tomb owner may simply have enjoyed eating eggs while alive. Finding intact eggs in ancient tombs is extremely rare in China. Therefore, archaeologists are verifying the quantity and avoiding unnecessary speculation about these mysterious eggs. Ladies and gentlemen, thus the mystery of the 500-year-old eggs concludes our exploration journey today. Among the recent discoveries, which one impressed you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe to Enigmatic Echoes channel so you don't. Here, our video will pause. Goodbye and see you again. Subscribe to the Gian Migo channel so you don't miss exciting videos.